To me, medicine is anything that brings me back to myself and that restores harmony. Harmony between the different parts, mind, body, heart, and soul. Um, yeah, anything that helps me return to myself and center. Uh, Even though at the time I wasn't fully aware of what medicine music was, but it felt like medicine. I've always been inspired by artists that seem to have a really good time when they're doing what they're doing. Um, and nowadays, I find inspiration in so many things. It could be a conversation with you, it could be walking around, it could be my own experiences. I think the inspiration comes from wanting to make the most of my own experiences and then write something and share something that can in some way support and encourage and uplift others, because we're all kind of going through the same thing at different times, different stages, different places. But to know that through my experience and expression, I can alleviate some of the suffering and confusion, because so many other artists and other people have done that for me. So it feels like a way to give back, keep it going around. I find that authenticity and honesty go a really long way. So if I start by being honest with myself about what I'm feeling, what I'm going through, the shadow, the shit, all the things, and if I connect to that place, then whatever comes will be something that most likely others can connect to and relate to. Um, so I try to focus less on the, at first, on the impact that it might have on others, and I focus on how it makes me feel. Um, Knowing that, again, if it comes from the honest, authentic, genuine place, it's likely that others will relate to it. And then in the in I do songwriting lessons as well, and one of the things I say is, at first write as if no one will ever hear your song, and be completely raw, completely honest. No one's ever gonna hear it. And then polish it as if everyone's gonna hear it. So at first you get that core, like, and then you make it in a way that it can reach others and bring some joy, some upliftment, some inspiration to, yeah, as many as possible. Being in nature, kind of like shutting out the noise of the world and of my mind. Um, yeah, finding a quiet space, ideally within, but if not without, um, and just tuning in with what I'm feeling. Um, so much of songwriting, the way that I approach it, is just feeling what I'm feeling. Um, and then I find that if I'm in a quiet space, whatever needs to come will come. So I often say, it's like you wanna, if the inspiration, if the muse is a guest, you wanna create an inner space where you don't know when she's gonna come, but when she does, you're ready. And it's nice and tidy, nice and clean, and then she comes in. You can invite her in, have some tea. So I do what I can to be a welcoming space for the inspiration. Because if I try to write a song, it doesn't flow. But when I'm open and receptive, it comes, and then my job as a songwriter is to catch that moment and then be with it. And that's usually how it works best. Since the beginning, before I had a platform or an audience, I I was always writing songs. If I wasn't writing love songs for someone else, I was writing songs with the intention of, yeah, creating positive change before anyone was listening to them. And then, funny enough, when I started getting a yeah, more some following, some like an audience, for me, it kind of happened almost overnight because it was very slow, very slow, very slow, very slow. And then I shared some songs that kind of like took off. And to tell you the truth, I freaked out because all of it, you spend so much time trying to get people's attention, and then all of a sudden everyone's looking at you, and you're like, ah. Um, because I felt that sense of responsibility. I have the privilege of receiving people's attention, which nowadays is rare. So how am I going to use it? What am I going to say? Why? The why is a big part that I keep as kind of like a compass, because it's easy to get lost and the ego gets involved and numbers and things that distract you from what am I doing and why. Um, so as much as possible, I try to remain focused on the the mission, so to speak, and use, yeah, I see it as both an opportunity and some type of responsibility to put out something that is wholesome and it's content that can, even if it's just a 1 degree change, but can have a positive impact on someone I might not even know in a place where I've never been. But to know that the music has a way to find its way to the people and to the places where it's supposed to land, then I kind of I let that go and I focus on my part and I trust that there's magic at work. During lockdown, I had an online book club with some friends, and we studied several books. And one of the books was called Find Your Why, and we went through exercises and different things. Where at the end, you get like one line, like a mission statement, and mine for now a couple years has been to amplify joy and truth, which feels simple enough that I can, you know, stay focused on it. But the I feel like, yeah, the mission is to amplify, and I love the verb to amplify, because an amplifier needs to be plugged into something to then amplify, and so it keeps me in check. Like, what am I plugged into? Is it my own desire for whatever it is, success or attention, or is it a genuine desire to do something good? And so to amplify joy, big part of one of my, let's say, one of my values. If there's no joy, why am I doing it? And then truth, I know, is a big one, but at least my truth, what I perceive as truth. So yeah, simply put, mission is to amplify joy and truth. I love so many different genres of music, from reggae to folk to gangster hip hop to gospel music to music medicine to, so I like to incorporate different aspects, and again, staying open to whatever comes, but try to have a different offering, because different styles, different genres will land with different people, and so to keep a variety of, of the offering. Because some people want to dance and groove, and some people just want to sit and feel. And that with whatever works for me in the moment. So there are times where I just write really slow, sad songs. Everything's messed up. I don't know what I'm doing, and I have to honor that. Because if I try to write a happy song in that time, it doesn't work. And then there are times where life is great and everything's flowing, and then I channel that feeling, and then yeah, the happy, groovy songs come. So I try not to put too much of my own expectation or intention. You know, it's good to have an intention, but it's also like, and just allow it to be whatever it wants to be. I see places like medicine and events and gatherings like medicine. The there's such a, I think, a foundation for the vision that we have, and for building the future that we wanna create. Because we're all doing our own work individually, whatever that might look like. A healing journey, reading books, listening to podcasts, practicing. But then when we come to a space like this, is where we can first put it in practice. And you feel the love. Like, I don't know most of these people, but I feel like I do. And it does feel like family. And it's also where we see it, it's real. It's not just an idea in a book or a dream if I'm, visualizing. You see it, it's real, it's possible. And then from here, we fuel up, we charge up, and then we take it out in the world. Even if I do shows wherever it is and it's a small one, I always say, feel this and now go share it. Go pass it on. Because it's in the practice of being with each other as family, loving one another, accepting one another. Um, that then we see that it's possible, and then it's easier to bring it out in the world where it's harder to do it when you don't have that resonance. Um, but it's so important to do our own work and then to celebrate it and put it in practice and have that confirmation that it's not an illusion, it's possible. Yeah, my advice for younger musicians or artists would be to first of all find your own voice, whether it's your style or what you want to say, which takes time. So experiment. Uh, Failure is necessary. There's never failure, but you see, okay, this doesn't work. So let me try this one. Um, find your voice, experiment, accept that some things won't work, but those will be the ones that will lead you towards the ones that do and that will. Um, do it because you love it. That's a big one. If you don't love it, there will be challenges. There will be days when you're like, I'm done. I don't want to do it. This doesn't work. But your passion and your genuine love for the craft, for the fact that you get to do it, is what is going to carry you through. Um, so enjoy it and just keep playing. Just keep playing. The difference between those who are doing it and those who are not doing it is that those who are doing it are doing it. If it makes sense. So just stick with it and keep playing. The energy yesterday in my set was incredible. I was like, I've been playing for 15 years, but I was like shaking from all the energy that I was feeling, like my own excitement and feeling a little bit nervous in a good way. Being at Medicine, the stage, the people, like feeling all that love. I've written down a set list where I would start with like more groovy tunes and then I would go into slower stuff. And I literally couldn't play it because my fingers were shaking, uh, which was which was amazing to feel, to be received with such warmth and support, and to know that what I'm saying you already know. These are just reminders. You just get to celebrate. I feel like it was definitely a highlight of the year. Um, I'm gonna carry the memory with me for a while. I had a few moments where I was playing, and sometimes you get in your head, you're thinking about the words or whatever it is, and then I would just look out at the trees and the people and be like, "This is it. Just be here. Enjoy this moment. It's just an hour. It goes fast." Um, it was very special. Something that feels very alive that I love to share. It's been one of the biggest lessons for me in the last 2, 3 years. Um, and especially now that many of us seem to be going through big times of changes, transitions, confusion, loss, what is going on, is to stay open to life. To stay open to life. I was in Costa Rica 3 years ago, feeling really lost and really broken and really confused. And one day, out of nowhere, this man who I'd never seen before came up to me, looked straight at me, and out of nowhere just said, "Stay open to life," which is Like my heart exploded, and I realized how not open to life I was. And since then, to see how even if I don't know the way, even if I perceive something as negative or bad, or and I get tensed, if I just stay open, life has a way to work itself out. Something that seems to be a negative thing turns out to be the seed for something amazing. So from our limited human perspective, we don't know why things happen. We can't see the full picture. So just staying open and somehow finding a place within yourself where you can still say thank you. I don't get it. I don't understand. I wish it was different, but thank you. And then that's been one of my main mantras for a few years, and it, it helps a lot. Some of my rituals, they change depending on how I feel, where I'm at. Meditation, I try to do at least 20 minutes every day to just quiet the chaos in my mind. Um, I recently discovered Qigong, which I really love. It's like a moving kind of meditation, journaling, moving the body, and also just feeling into how I feel. Like sometimes a ritual, as silly as it sounds, might be go down to the beach and just scream like a psychopath for a little while, which I've done, and just like, so to have some little anchors throughout the day of stillness, of contemplation, of, yeah, just slowing down for a second. So meditation, qigong, writing, music has been also a big ritual. Before I started doing therapy, that was my therapy. Um, Finding time to be in nature, connection, um, finding time to do nothing for a little while. Because even the rituals, even I think Ram Dass used to say, every practice is a trap. So we can get also trapped into all the things that we do, but we're still trying to run away from just being with ourselves, which for some reason it's so hard sometimes. So just being, and then whatever feels like it's gonna work, do that. Even if it's 10 minutes, that's progress. And yeah, allow yourself to be where you're at, and whatever it is, it'll move, it'll pass, it will evolve. But yeah, little anchors throughout the day to be present and just appreciate life.